That rat bastard Joe. No, not Joe Biden. He's a pig-fucking bastard. I'm talking about the one and only Cotton-Eyed Joe. The wily, demonic scourge of a man who prevented me from being married all those years ago. Where did he come from? No one has the faintest idea. What's truly terrifying is to inquire as to where did the bastard go. No one can say for sure, although everyone has a theory or has heard a rumor they are all too eager to pass on as fact. Truth is, that son of a bitch is out there somewhere doing what he did to me and my darling Elizabeth to some other unsuspecting young couple who are soon to become man and wife. Just the name, Cotton-Eyed Joe, sends a shiver up my spine every time I hear it. I'll kill that evil bastard if I ever get the chance. Kill him with my own bare hands. Take my time, you see. Go real slow so I can savor every moment of his agony. For Elizabeth, I will tell him over and over again as I'm slicing pieces of flesh from his body, this is all for Elizabeth, you cotton-eyed bastard. Anyways, you want to go down the hall and take a left, and the bathroom is the first door you will see. Can't miss it. Enjoy the party.
You know, I couldn't help but overhear you talking about Cotton-Eyed Joe while I was listening to Governor Felcher talk about his plans for the high-speed rail, and upon hearing the mention of his name, I was filled with a rage that was so intense that I had to excuse myself from the discussion altogether. I too had a run-in with that thieving, no-good villain, and I want revenge more than I've ever wanted anything in my life. You see, I first met Joseph back in 1993 when I was developing the first finance building in downtown Miami. It was a glorious project, and it would have been a career-defining moment for me. My family's entire legacy was riding on the success of this project. I personally had a hefty fortune of my own money invested in the project to ensure its success, which I might add was all but guaranteed, until a man who introduced himself as Joseph showed up to the quarterly meeting of the board of directors, that is. No one on my staff knew where he had come from, but there he was in an Armani suit with a cease and desist order issued from some environmental nut job of a judge. The order claimed my project was a direct threat to the natural habitat of a bird called the cotton-eyed teal-breasted finch. The order went on to say the bird, which is native to downtown Miami, was in fact severely endangered and on the brink of total extinction. My lawyers did everything they could to fight the order, but Joseph had anticipated every legal countermaneuver possible and made quick work of the prestigious Wilson, Pritchard, and Suck Me Off law firm as if they were no more significant than a gnat or a middle-aged hooker. Suffice it to say, my project was dead in the water. The construction was already well underway, and there was no recouping my investment or that of those I had convinced to invest with me. My family's good name was forever tarnished, and I was disowned by father. His last words to the family were, "I am proud of you. All except you, James. You're a little faggot who took a shit on my legacy, and I hate you for it." He left billions to my siblings, but my inheritance was a minuscule $500 million. I used it to build my real estate development empire back from scratch, and with what was left over, I put 3 ex-Navy SEAL assassins on retainer with the express mission to hunt down and bring this Joe fellow to me alive so that I could teach him some manners before having him dispatched. To this day, they are still looking for him. Where did he go? It seems is just as much of a mystery as where he came from. Turns out the cotton-eyed teal-breasted finch isn't a real bird at all. No motive has been discovered for that bastard's meddling, but if it hadn't been for Cotton-Eyed Joe, I'd have been a billionaire a long time ago indeed, and I wouldn't have endured the shame of being disowned. So I too am a victim of his. I just thought I'd share. Anyways, have you tried the beluga caviar paired with the Venetian peach champagne? It is to die for old sport.
Excuse me, good sirs. Are you talking about Cotton-Eyed Joe? I haven't heard that name since the early 90s, when insufferable electronic music was all the rage and the moral fabric of society had begun to come apart at the seams. I remember my daughter, Yvonne, had just begun her freshman year at Oxford, and we were all so proud. My wife, Beatrice, and I made the trip out to visit her dormitory during her second semester, and what we found was appalling to say the least. She had begun dressing like an insane person, baggy clothes with glitter and neon streaks of dye in her hair. She had no longer spoke the King's English, and she began affecting her voice with vocal fry like some kind of California bimbo. Her grades were beyond what one would consider to be mediocre. She was flunking every class she had enrolled in. She was smoking marijuana cigarettes and listening to techno music at deafening levels. She had fallen in with a crowd of Democrats, lesbians who had men's haircuts and who wore pants and no longer shaved their body hair. They all sported piercings and tattoos of tribal-style artwork and Chinese writings. That was bad enough, but it was when we were introduced to her new boyfriend, the one and only Cotton-Eyed Joe, that very same gentleman you seem to be familiar with, that we knew our beloved Yvonne was no longer the brilliant and well-mannered young lady she was when we brought her to Oxford. This Joe fellow had of course broken her heart, just up and disappeared. What's worse is that some music group, if you could call them that, had written a song about the man which had become a hit. Our Yvonne played that song over and over. It drove us mad. With our standing in society, we couldn't allow her transformation to become public knowledge. So we had her admitted to an asylum deep within the countryside, where for years they have tried every treatment regimen money can buy, all to no avail. The school, when pressed, hadn't the foggiest idea where this Cotton-Eyed Joe fellow had come from, and to my knowledge, no one is privy to where it is he did go, but gone he is, and if I ever do find him, I have a special surprise waiting for him. We purchased 2 bull sharks, which we keep in our private nature preserve, in a very spacious and luxurious tank. They have been raised from birth to have a strong desire for the taste of human flesh, if you catch my drift. One of these days, we will find him and deliver him to that tank to be ripped apart by the powerful jaws and the serrated teeth of my saltwater darlings. If it hadn't been for that scoundrel Cotton-Eyed Joe, our one and only daughter would be a neurosurgeon or a lawyer or a literary powerhouse by now, and we would be proud parents. But no, all of our hard work and all the investments we made and strings we pulled to give our daughter the very best life has to offer were in vain. Now, if you'll gentlemen excuse me, I have to ask our host where in the devil he managed to find that lovely set of fine china he served us all tea in earlier this evening. I could have swore they were Persian, but I can't quite be sure.
They were actually 17th century Moroccan pieces, if my memory serves me right. Pardon my interrupting. I heard you talking about Cotton-Eyed Joe, am I correct? That piece of shit gave me genital herpes and swiped my purse and jewelry after seducing me to go to bed with him 7 years ago in Paris. He also took a shit in the bathroom and didn't bother flushing. It was the stench that woke me up to find him gone along with all my valuables. He had the oddest accent, but he refused to tell me where it was he had come from, or where he was headed to for that matter. But if it hadn't been for that no-good, lecherous, cotton-eyed man-whore, I'd have been STD-free a long time ago. If I ever do see him, I keep a gun in my purse so I can blow his brains out. Anyways, y'all know if they serve Mountain Dew here?
Cotton-Eyed Joe took a shit in my mouth one time, not a joke.
Okay, music fans, I know you guys are having a great evening. The party is just getting started. I'm DJ Funky White Boy, and I'll be playing the hits all night long. So let's start off with an oldie but goodie.
Bad